Howdy. Not regular vlogs that I'm accustomed to making, creating, whatever. Uh,
Meek.
Meek, the meek, peaceful, docile, mild, demure, humble. That's what I always thought about modest, humble and modest, especially humble. When I heard the word meek, the meek shall inherit the earth. That's why it was a religious text, and it was from Catholicism. I believe all Christianity dwells in that. But I understood that. I was like, of course, the humble, the peaceful. Uh, but then somewhere along the line, I looked up the definition and it said, oh, here it says, quiet, gentle, and easily imposing, submissive. See, you can be peaceful, but the word submissive means like you're trampled on, or you walked upon, or you're abused. I guess, when you're peaceful, usually are abused to a certain degree. Because when you're not, when you get angry, and it's like, turn the other cheek. If you start returning it, then you're not peaceful anymore. But it's like, at what point, do you get to the point where you just like turn the other cheek? How many times can you turn the other cheek? And I get it, it's a metaphor, but not in a literal sense, but at the same time, it's like, I try to control my anger onto evil people. Evil people, whether they're degenerates, people that steal, people that are just, disrespectful. Like my next door neighbor, very disrespectful to a certain degree. And just, stalkerish. People that stalk, you know. Except people stalk, I don't get angry. I have to like psych them out. I just have to ignore them because who knows what they're gonna do. But am I the meek? Because I consider myself humble. Somewhere along the lines, I thought, but it's like it resembles cowardly the way it's presented. Except, we all want to survive. We all want to go after retired or people that perpetuate murder. You don't want to be the hero that gets himself cut up and you might get hurt or you might get abused or haunted by a police department, law enforcement, because a lot of them perpetuate in that or they'll cover it up. So I understand that we all have our lives. We all want to keep quiet. It has to end eventually. But someone that's peaceful, docile, or humble, they get my respect. Even though, they wouldn't stand up for me and tell me, yeah, those people were there, he's right, this and that. I understand, because you're scared, or there's all part of us, even those that aren't humble, that feel that, so I understand that. It's just that you got to keep that separated, and I do understand why a lot of people, would be turned off by that. Where I'm going with this, there was one person that in the psychiatric unit that I would say, he was humble, but it's like he took a beating from somebody, from some girl, and it's like, and not a beating, but she was pulling his hair, and he just stood and he said that he's like, oh, I've been through this before, and it's like that to me is someone that isn't cowardly, and I don't think I could have done that. As soon as I would have felt. I felt obliged to move it and just move out of the way or just, push her or like, hey, come on, what are you doing? It's like, I wouldn't know how I would have reacted. It would have been a fight. I wouldn't have swung at her. I knew I couldn't hit her. She was a female. She was a girl. Even if it was a guy, it's like, I don't like to get in fights. I don't like to hurt somebody, But when it comes to self-defense, I'll throw an elbow and I'll throw it I throw it in a place where, keep you back. I have to do that. I have to protect myself. I'm not an aggressor, but, he just, he gave me a lot of my respect after that. Like we were talking, and I realized, there's something different about him, But it's like, it wasn't too great important. But I was like, wow, man, he just like, he's like a really tough guy, And the things he's been through, it's like, he's a martial artist, so he knows how to take in pain. And he like hurt himself with a sword. I was like, this is one of the reasons why I wouldn't want a real sword. I want a wooden sword. And it's like, he was practicing, he hurt himself, like, geez, I would have been shocked. I still would have been like shocked from it. It's like, but you have to be that macho and that tough, or, and like, I said something about that, but it's like, you say something, and it's like, are they going to come after me now? You know, like the people in the psychiatric unit, because they left me alone, and I didn't instigate to the point where it's like, I'm gonna make a case about this. I'll get a lawyer, this and that, because who knows what they probably up my dosage of risperidone. So I had to be careful myself as well. But it's like, you have to subtly address it to a certain degree and defend yourself. If that's the definition of me, then yeah, I get it. It's just that a lot of times it gets misconstrued as a coward. At least to my understanding, at least maybe the anger I felt. But yeah, that's how from when I was a kid, I used to remember the word meek. I mean, someone that's humble and modest, and at the same time peaceful. Even though a lot of times we don't become, or gentle, shy. I wouldn't use a shy. I think it could be misconstrued as shy. Docile is more like it, but you can't be arrogant and flamboyant all the time. Even though you act for a certain reason. So you can be gentle and peaceful, but I mean, a lot of times it just comes out of you. Just like everybody gets angry, so you can't be meek all the time. But this is just in the long run, as the people that really seek peace and aren't violent and evil. I think that's to me that people like that should definitely inherit the earth, and they should be just having the life they always wanted. Versus, and you would see them, well, he didn't say, or she didn't say this and that. Maybe because they knew how to pick their battles as well. Maybe you knew it was gonna come after them. Like you would have come after me. Like I could have gotten that girl before the nurses got there, because they got there a little bit too late. Actually, they were there, and they still, like, two of them, they still let her do that to a certain degree. Maybe I should have like grabbed her or something. But it's like, now I'm putting myself, like, I want to hit her. Now it's like, who knows what they're gonna say? I attacked her. Because people in charge in today's world aren't really meek. They're not humble. They're the aggressors. And they perpetuate a lot of violence. Those aren't meek. They're cowards. And, for that, someone like that have no respect. I mean, imagine you're a place of power, and male, female, and you could just get in the way, and that person wouldn't hit you, but she would yell, and you would tell her to go to a room, and you could dissolve the situation. It's not about taking punches, because she wouldn't hit some of the nurses and the staff. It's just about, just doing the right thing. That's what it's about. And doing the right thing and not necessarily getting repercussions. It's really that simple. If you don't do that, you're a coward. You're not only a coward, you're evil to me, in my opinion. You perpetuate a lot of evil. It's like you promote that. It's not so much about that one incident. It's just about a lot of other people that might even enjoy that. That's even worse. That you get a rush out of it, and they instigate it, and they throw it on the victim. Like, how disturbing, how menacing are you? And the people that, one person that I saw do that, actually two or three. The last time around I was in the unit, one person did that. He was just one of the biggest cowards, the loudest person in the unit at times. But he would instigate to the point where it's like he wanted the victim to get even more and more aggressive and anger and anxiety. That's just horrible. And that person was in the military. That's just wrong, right? I mean, one of the reasons why I don't support the military, because of that. So people like that. Maybe it's a stereotype. Maybe it's not everybody's in there, but talk about U.S. instigating a war, a 20-year war, or maybe that will go on longer and went on from 93 even. Let's talk about that. And there's this destabilizing not just a region by peace. That's one of the reasons why I would love to burn my U.S. passport. Oh, with a passion. Not so much the flag, because I don't want to spend money like, $15, $20 and burn something. It's wrong. But my passport, I would love to cut it up and burn it. I have to do a U.S. embassy, and I like to make all of you feel it. But, that's also how I feel about Trinitas, Royal Police Department, Elizabeth Police Department, Union County Courthouse. Your little court system that is fraudulent. You don't believe in law. You don't believe in justice. I would love to do that to you. Make you feel anger, hatred towards me. You should. You should. And Um, let's see. Yesterday, actually, I raged within myself. I made it even a couple hours ago. I made a video and I had to just take a nap. Not from that, but I just, all this anger just gets the best of me. Like it drains my energy, and it's just about people just being not humble at all, totally arrogant. Even they can't even accept their shortcomings as individuals. They perpetuate that in other people. It's not so much they use violence towards me, but use a form of despicable behavior, words and actions, and their arrogance, and their just like they can't even accept their weaknesses and their fallings as a human being. And just to the point where just like I ignore them. It's the best thing. But a lot of times they just go cross over the line, just get angry. But I learned not to get in their face. I learned not to be. I learned to be more peaceful. Just ignore them. Pretend like they don't exist. Although they lurk in the shadows in my thoughts, they lurk because they're still around. They're still alive. Even though they make their presence known, it's to the point where it's like I'm in a place where I'm physically away from them, so I'm more comfortable. Like I was living alone on the streets of New York. I felt very comfortable because I was away from them. They're still a lot closer, but you know what? I could care less. Ignoring them and just, passing them by, looking at them, just going about my day is the best thing I could do. If that's humble or peaceful, that's what it is. Or maybe it's just, I'm they could see me and they say I'm resigned. Well, so be it. That's the only way to fight. It isn't about flamboyant getting angry and disrespecting them, calling their names anymore, is it? But eventually, I can't take it anymore. I just had enough of them. They just won't quit. They're like leeches and parasites. So you put some bleach on them. Maybe the best thing is just to abandon them. Abandon the west side, the waste side. Pollutants, they pollute the soul, their environment, your mind. Eventually, it trickles down to your physical aspect. Just the rage, just destroys your day. And yeah, the fact that I took a nap, I was just thinking, after taking a nap, even though it was an hour, the previous hours before that just feels like it was a dream and a daze. I don't like taking naps during the day, but it's like you get to the point where just like it just drains you. They drain you. Physically, I'm much better than I was, in my 30s, even a couple years ago. I take care of myself, but they bring me down to the point where it's like I physically I even feel it, and mentally especially. I probably couldn't not that I couldn't hold a job, but it's like they try to get you in everything you do, with every little crumb you take in and out, whatever earnings you get, they want to take everything from you. They want to exhaust you. It's just it's pretty disgusting what they are. If they weren't so arrogant and into themselves, they probably would have relaxed and they probably not apologize because that's beyond them. But they probably would have left me alone. And they still persist. But you just gotta, I gotta fight through it and be peaceful. I was thinking of that one particular event, how he was a mixed martial artist, so he knew fighting, but also, he just took it on the chin. He just, and then he just, sat down. He didn't even get angry at her that much. I was like, wow, I don't think I could have done that. He must have been in a few fights then, huh? Because I'm just, I'm a novice at that, I get shocked and it's like, I don't swing, but it's like, I got to push back. He didn't. But yeah, it's just, that's just my definition of Meek.